Have you ever noticed this? In a group full of voices, jokes, opinions, and noise, there's always that one person who barely speaks. They listen, they watch, they smile politely. And when the conversation ends, you realize something strange. They understood everything. If that's you or someone you know, here's the psychology behind people who stay quiet in groups but think the most. This isn't about shyness. This isn't about insecurity, and it definitely isn't about having nothing to say. In fact, psychology suggests the opposite. Let's break it down. Psychologists call this high internal processing. Some minds work outward. They think by talking. Other minds work inward. They think by observing. Quiet people don't respond immediately because their brain is busy doing something most people skip. They're analyzing tone, facial expressions, word choice, intent. While others react, they reflect. That's why they might answer late or not at all. Not because they're lost, but because their thoughts are too layered to rush. If you've ever stayed silent in a group and later replayed the entire conversation in your head, this is your brain's natural rhythm. Social dynamics. They're highly sensitive to social dynamics. Quiet thinkers are often extremely aware of social energy. Who's dominating the conversation? Who's being ignored? Who's pretending to agree? Who's uncomfortable but laughing anyway? Psychology links this to high emotional intelligence. They don't just hear words, they sense shifts. That awareness makes them cautious. They know one sentence can change the mood of an entire room. So instead of speaking impulsively, they wait. They choose silence over saying the wrong thing. But it's actually control. Independent. Silence is often a sign of independence. Many quiet people don't feel the need to prove themselves through conversation. They're not chasing validation. They don't need to fill silence to feel accepted. They're comfortable letting others talk, comfortable being misunderstood, comfortable not being the center. Ironically, this independence often comes from deep self-awareness. They know who they are. They don't need to announce it. That's why they speak less. But when they do, people listen. Thinking behavior. They think in patterns, not sentences. Some people think in words. Others think in patterns, images, and connections. Quiet individuals are often pattern thinkers. While a group discusses one topic, their mind connects it to 10 others. Past experiences, future consequences, hidden motivations. By the time they're ready to speak, the conversation has already moved on. So they stay silent. Not because they missed the moment, but because their mind went deeper than the moment allowed. Psychologically, the ability to explore ideas internally rather than externally. Adaptation. They learned early that observation is safer than expression. This one goes deep. Many quiet thinkers develop their silence early in life. Maybe they grew up in environments where speaking up wasn't rewarded. Maybe their emotions were overlooked. Maybe they were taught, subtly, that listening was smarter than reacting. Psychology calls this adaptive behavior. They didn't shut down, they adapted. They learned to read rooms, to think before speaking, to protect their inner world. As adults, this shows up as calmness, stillness, depth. But underneath, there's a mind that never stops moving. Quiet people in groups are rarely empty. They are full of thoughts they don't rush, full of insights they don't waste, full of awareness others don't notice. But psychology shows they often carry the most understanding in the room. So if you're that person, the one who listens more than they talk, the one who feels exhausted after social gatherings, you're not broken, you're not behind, you're wired differently. And that difference is powerful. If this made you feel seen, you're not alone. Subscribe for more psychology that explains the parts of you no one ever talks about.